Welcome to the Jedi Ranger. I'm JohnBerry555, and I'm continuing my reviews of Phineas and Ferb Season 5. So if you don't know, Phineas and Ferb came back for a 5th season, and I'm reviewing all the episodes, even though I've never actually reviewed the vast majority of Seasons 1 through 4. Maybe I'll do that someday, but anyhow, we're going to be talking about Episode 8 today. 8A is called The Haberdasher, and 8B is called Out of Character. So, in The Haberdasher, Phineas and Ferb, they're just with their mom that day. They're not building any contraption but Baljeet, Buford, and Isabella do something, though we never see what it is besides just a few shots of the edge of it. No clue what it is. This is not the first time that has happened, and one of the few times also that has happened where the big idea is not the Phineas and Ferb thing. But everyone ends up missing it, so I really do like how at the end, Isabella wants to show Phineas in the same way that Candace wants to show her mother. So I really love that parallel right there. So I suspect, despite Phineas oblivious to Isabella's feelings for him, he's going to believe what they made. And I really love how Buford basically does a lampshade and say, why hasn't anyone started to take a picture of it? And that's such a Buford thing to do. But anyhow, let's talk about the Doof and Perry plot, which is a big thing. It's actually mostly a Perry plot because Doof, he actually transforms himself into a moth, trying to transform himself into a butterfly. And then he actually eats Perry's hat and gets a taste for hats. So Perry has to go to Alcott's Haberdasher to get a new hat for himself. And the Haberdasher sings a whole song about having a hat for every occasion, basically. And eventually Doof shows up and starts eating the hats. Perry defeats him, returns him back to human. And then he gets a new hat, which is just a plain old fedora like he had before. Plus the security microchip in it that was eaten by Doofenshmirtz. Oh, and then the ending gag is Doof is eating a bowl of socks instead of a bowl of cereal, and he's like, why did I think this tastes good? Hasn't fully quite recovered from his transformation yet. But honestly, it's just a fun episode in the way it, who I'm looking for in the way that it subverts the plot, which they've been doing a lot, the stereotypical plot formula. They're doing a really great job of that in Season 5 to create some interesting stuff going on. And no, I like it when they do that because that makes things more interesting, the playing in the world going on for it. But let's really talk about episode 8B, 7? 8. I don't know why I forgot that for a second, but 8B, Out of Character. So basically, Phineas and Ferb are going to help Baljeet learn to act because of apparently Space Adventure is filming a movie in Denver. And by the way, if you don't know, Space Adventure is basically Phineas and Ferb's Star Trek, Star Wars, sci-fi parody, internal universe thing that they got going on. And in fact, the director or producer, I forget what they called it, but that character is literally a parody of Kathleen Kennedy in a minor way. They call her Kathleen Marshall, and Kennedy's actual husband's name is Marshall, so you can see where they got that going from as well. But so basically, they all act to trick Baljeet into learning to act, and he gets the idea that maybe he actually going to learn to act. So Buford is going to pencil it into his schedule because apparently Buford manages Baljeet's schedule, and that's a gag they started at the beginning of this episode, where basically They ask him where Baljeet is. By the way, in very much a parody of the Where's Perry line going on as well. And he's like, what? Do you think I keep tabs on him? And then, yeah, pulls out the schedule like, well, he's late. Which is hilarious. And also, I also really love how in this episode too, with Buford, that they allude to the fact that in Act of Age, it's basically implied that he becomes a film major. They kind of reference that here, with him basically holding a camera the entire time and all that, and talking about getting shots for his reel. Really leaning into that aspect of him, which I actually do hope they do lean into, because that's one part of his character I really like that is part of it that they don't always address. But I definitely like that better than some of the Candace suit stuff going on that they had in the previous episode. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that, of course. I should also mention too that in this episode with all that, Candace is also out of character because she's just sitting on the couch listening to Chop Away at My Heart from the Lump Exorcist from Mount Murphy's Law, which I just loved, that they made sure they got that reference in. But she's kind of out of character by doing that, and it's not until something happened, I think connected with Doof's NATO. Maybe not. No, it was connected with the big idea for Phineas and Ferb and how it ended. Knocked her headphones out, so she actually realized, what's going on? That's it. But Doof's plan, well, he was to turn his brother's statue into a generic face. Which, by the way, also that in nature also hits Ferb, and so none of them think that it's Ferb. They say, oh, good impression, but where's actually Ferb? And then when Ferb finally gets turned back, Phineas is like, oh, good, you're back. The other guy was so chatty. One is still just Ferb, and two, it's like Ferb's only line was when he was zapped by the NATO. And also, too, Doof's plan backfires because people are like, yes, Major Roger Doofenshmirtz, generic, he's representing all of us. Even though that was not the intention at all. It backfires, so we really need to interfere this time. Honestly, I first thought Doofenshmirtz was going to drop a big papier-mâché head of himself on Roger's statue. Because they had that. No, he was just using that to demonstrate the nature to Perry. Go figure. I also would like to mention that in both these episodes, they reference the if I had two nickels meme, which was actually, I've learned, was a previously existing meme beforehand, but Phineas and Ferb had changed it slightly and made that version very popular. But anyhow, last episode, Linda did it. In this episode, it was she did that in last episode. It was also again acknowledged in this episode, but I don't remember exactly how I got referenced, even though I gotta talk about that. But yeah, I really just love how, oh wait, never mind. Major Monogram referenced it, but this time it was literally, calls and says, if you had two nickels to a Monogram, then responds, yes, I know how it goes, meaning that it's a meme in the universe. There, I got my facts straight-ish. Straight-ish, yeah. But yeah, overall, these are two great fun episodes. I really like them. I love the contrast and how they did do some changes to the formula, and how, in some ways, the characters are out of character for out of character. I talk about how Candace was in a bit, but also them acting as characters in a fictional show. We'll get into meta there. But also, too, Roger has to act out of character that he actually cares, that he purposely did his statue generic, even though that was not the case. That's kind of out of character too, right? Right. Anyhow, I think that's going to cover this review. I would love to hear your thoughts on these episodes in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like and share. Also, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest content. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the force be with you, always.